Good morning and welcome back to the Celtic Unrestricted View. Hope you're all well. Joining me this morning, it's myself, JP, and joining me this morning is our fantastic double act. I'm not going to say Jack and Victor because that's for somebody else. We have got the fantabulous Paddy McCourt, as you can see. Here we are, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. It's not like Paddy to be alert in the morning, but here we go. Turn up for the books, that one. And a wee fantastic guy up in the top there, wee Sean Maloney again, man. It's a pleasure to have you boys on. Shawnee boy, I'll come to you, mate. How are you since the last time I had a chat with you?
I'm not bad, mate. Wish I was playing tonight, you know what I mean? Old knees and that I've done, mate. So, and I'm a bit small now, I think, for these big guys playing football, mate. So, but no, mate, looking forward to the game. So, interesting kind of podcasting through, obviously, the bits of the game, mate, in depth and stuff. So, looking forward to it, mate. Hope you're well as well. And all good.
Yeah, I'm all good, mate. As you said, we're looking forward to this evening. Alan, how are you, mate?
Aye, great. After we spoke yesterday, a good wee chat yesterday. Looking forward to the night. Hopefully, it's a night with a bit of substance in regards to points instead of a disappointment with a good result, with a good performance, and a disappointing result with the last couple. So hopefully we can, no matter how we get some sort of result tonight with regards to points.
Yeah.
I think it's a must, a definite must. Even if we're looking for third place, I think we at least need to take a point for tonight, I think.
I think that's the most important thing, Ryan, isn't it, the way Alan says? Because I think, obviously, in Brendan's presser, he spoke about, the need to get something tonight if we want to really look at beyond the group, whether that be we're fate we drop into Europa or we somehow majestically manage to qualify for the group. I know quite a lot of us fans are realists as well, and they understand that there might be a step too far. However, nothing's impossible, and football's a funny old game. But I think, mate, listening to Brendan and the way he was chatting, Ryan, I think he fancies us, mate.
Aye, his pressure was quite positive for our angle. I think he knows it's a must win or a must get something. The way he's come across, it was like, we don't need to be the best team in the world. So I think he knows if we just up a level a wee bit and keep us solid, we've got a massive chance. Again, I'm not naive enough to know, mate, that we're playing against some very, very quality players in this team. Guys that have played international for years, have won trophies, played in Champions League finals, World Cup finals. The manager's very, very good. So it wouldn't surprise me as well, JP. I know this might sound daft, but they can be happy coming here with a point tonight because they are very defensively very solid, and their away record recently in Europe's been good. I don't think they've won the last 5 away games in Europe or something. I think they've drew 1 and lost 4 or something. So I don't think they've the best of form away ties in Europe. So, but listen, I'm no silly enough to know, mate, that we're playing against a very, very good team. They're in form in La Liga, a reform team. La Liga have won the last 5 games, I think 6 games or so. I think they've scored 15 goals, so they're averaging at least 2 goals a game. So they're going to be, you're probably going to fancy score against us. So it's down to us to keep solid. So no, I think on Brendan, mate, I think he's got to be upbeat because I think I've seen a lot of social media posts the last few days, and especially last night. I'm not looking forward to the game because we all hype ourselves up and then we get beat. For me, that's not the attitude. You've got to go into the game. Every game you play at Celtic Park, even away from home, as much as maybe not as much away from home because we know away record in Europe's terrible, but it's got to change at some point. And our victories at Celtic Park in Europe recently have dried up, and they've got to change at some point. And the night could be the night. I know we all thought that against Lazio, but tonight could be the night. And I think I don't want to say that the O is a victory, but the O is a performance and a victory because the performances have been competing. But like I said to you last night, it's all right competing, but you need to go and get the victories now. We can't just say we're competing, we're doing okay, but we always get with a sucker punch. So I'm hoping tonight, mate, that Brendan's get the suits fired up and we can go and get a victory.
Yeah, mate, I think it's, well, like you say, the first and foremost, the important part there is a victory. I think that's a must. I think this group of players deserve it, Ryan, more than anything else. I think that's, Alan, I think that's the important part there, because they've played so well for so long in so many different games, and they've walked away. Like the Lazio game, we were excellent, probably the best of the two teams on the night, and we ended up with nothing. So people say it's a sucker punch and stuff. I don't really know what else we could have done that night except switch on in terms of concentration. But I do think, it's one of those. It's a catch-22. But I do think, Alan, just listening to Brendan, like I says, and like Ryan was saying there, I think he does fancy this. I think he sees something in this game that, and maybe he sees something in the players that, maybe just warming up to this. I know we've waited quite a long time for this, but I don't necessarily think it's miles and miles away from the team to do it. So I think, yeah, as I said, mate, I think he fancies this, Alan, and I think based on maybe his analysis and stuff as well, I think he's looking at Atletico, and I think they're definitely a side, mate, that can be, they can be got at, and we've got players in my team that can hurt them. And as Ryan says, let's hope tonight, the team are fully concentrated, because Brendan did. That was one of the things Brendan he highlighted yesterday in his presser. Concentration's massive at this level. I thought he spoke very well in terms of, he was using the word fighting quite a lot. Want to fight, want to run, want to show the desire. So it's going to be interesting, Alan, to see how we do go about it, and how we actually set up, and what the game plan is to go and try and get a result, mate.
Aye, no, you're spot on. What I've taken out, especially of the last game against Lazio, I think we're playing against kind of elite top sides in Europe. We need to be more ruthless. Like, when half a chance or a decent chance comes, we can't afford to pass that up like we do in the SPL. Like the SPL, we know we're going to get another 4 or 5 chances after that, but the chances against top level sides, they're a wee bit more sparse than usual. So every chance we get, we need to kind of take advantage of that, and we need to be more clinical at the top end of the field as well. There was a few chances that you can look at in the Lazio game, and past European games as well, that these top level teams, they don't miss these chances. They punish you for these kind of chances. So I'm hoping tonight that we're a lot more clinical, and we can make the performance work for us, and kind of get some points on the board. But I think we need to kind of take advantage of any kind of gaps that Atletico leave. I think we've all been kind of watching past games, the highlights of Atletico, and I think you're spot on there. Their defence is there to be got at. They're not the fastest defence.
No.
It's a more maturing defence side. They've got Axel Witsel in the centre-half position, where he was kind of renowned as a defensive midfielder earlier on in his career. So you need to kind of look at the opposition and try and think of any holes in their armour or any gaps that we can possibly exploit. And I think if Maida and Kyogo are sharp, fast and clinical tonight, I think we could have a bit of joy against that defence. It's just all about kind of keeping their door shut, because I think that's their most dangerous part of the team, as the front two that they've got at present, because it is pretty frightening, their goals and assist record and how fast and clinical they've been.
A couple of wee early comments coming in, and also Plunge joining us on the YouTube. He says, "Morning, gentlemen," and morning, Plunge. I hope you're well, mate. And James says, "Morning, guys. Not sure why the chat wasn't available when you started. I think just it was Ryan that done that to you, Ange, just to stop you from being able to comment first. I'm not sure. He's got that devious side to him, as we all know. So Just want to keep an eye on. I think. Don't worry. I'll have a chat with him at the end. Don't worry. Stay behind at the end for 5 minutes, right? Before you disappear, son.
Okay, Dad. Thanks very much.
And Red Scotland's joining us also, and Red reckons that we've already lost the first 2 must-win games. He says we're in damage limitation mode now due to the board not backing the manager. I think, to be fair with you, Red, that's just me personally, and my opinion to that. I think that in terms of backing the manager and stuff, I think that's a separate issue from whether we can win or not. We've already showed that we can compete with these players because they play some fantastic football. And I'm talking about guys like Hatate, Matt O'Reilly, Kyogo. Kyogo proved in the last game that he can now score at that level. So there's belief slowly but surely coming into the play line in terms of, us trying to get a result and trying to flip it. But I think I do understand people's thoughts in terms of, I think even you guys have touched on it, about the window maybe being underwhelming in terms of the model of the player that, was signed. I do understand that the team need a bit of help, especially Kyogo. If something happens to him and it is a position in the field that I'd be severely worried about. I like what I see about O. But is he ready to come in and play maybe 10, 15 games? Should he be required if the wee man was out injured? I'm not really too sure about that. But again, that's another issue we can chat about later. But I think, as Alan says, mate, I think we need to be right at it. And I think we've got, that should be all and end all of it, folks, is we're in a position where we're punching above our weight in terms of teams that, they've got a lot more resources than us. Some of these guys have got a guy that's a World Cup winner in the squad. Some of these guys are elite level. Guys like Griezmann, who've been in around and know their way about Europe. Make no bones about that. Tonight's not going to face him one iota. He's played in a lot more hostile venues and a lot more bigger arenas than that. So, what I think you can do against these guys, as what Brendan says, you can set up in a way that you are competitive. Because these teams, Ryan, as much as Athletico Madrid are a lot more physical, they don't like being closed down. And as Alan says, their defence isn't exactly, they've not got that bursting speed. So, what's your thoughts on it, Ryan, in terms of Celtic's initial setup, the way we could go about it, and obviously, the opposition and the way they are?
Well, obviously, the last game against Celtic Vigo, that was a lineup. So we did play a 3-5-2 basically. And like Alan says, with Asclepieta playing at the right centre back, again, he's used to playing there. He's always played either as a full back or kind of a winger full back type thing. So he's maybe adjusting a new position in terms of them over there. Hermosa's quite slow, but he is very good on the ball as a defender. And Witzel, he likes a tackle. He's quite strong. So the midfield again, and the two up front, I don't think we need to talk about the two up front because they're very, very good. The bench as well, they've got guys on the bench like Carrera and Rodrigo De Paul. So they've got options in our midfield. So I'm thinking that's where they set up 3-5-2. So if they're going to set up a 3-5-2, I think we can hit them at the back. Especially if we're going to play 3 against them and go 3-3 against them, I think we can hit them. Because I think we're quicker than them going forward, defensively to attack. So that's where we could get a wee chink in their armour. But that means guys like Maeda and Palma. I know Palma's done really well recently, but sometimes Maeda, he's crossing and that's sometimes very questionable. I think he just rushes sometimes. So everything's got to be done spot on tonight. And I think in terms of them, they're not normally renowned for like a Barcelona style or keep the ball. But I think the last game was 91% passing accuracy. So they were very, very on point against Celtic Vigo. Recently, they've been very good. Like you said, Griezmann, he's been probably in the form of his career now. He's got 8 goals, I think, I think that's, I don't know if that's just the league, but he's got 8 goals in 11 games. Morata's got 7 and 10, so they're firing on all cylinders up front. So we need to be on our game in terms of Scales and Vickers, who I'm assuming might play. So, but no, I think we'll set up the same as we always do. And I think, I'm not going to say he'll go gung ho, but I think we'll go attacking. I think he's going to go attacking. I don't think we can change our train of thought. And like you said about Griezmann, he's played in bigger hostile atmospheres, and I want us to make the night hostile. I don't know what the pre-match plan is, like it was against Lazio, but for me, that was just a showpiece event. It was like, come to Celtic Park, have a laugh, a joke, have a wee sing-song before the game. You wouldn't have thought that was a big European night until the music started. So, for me, the atmosphere is going to build up a bit early. When the warm-ups, I'm not saying, guy, go and boo them, go and get these guys. Just these things. People might think I'm talking maybe a bit of rubbish here, but it's just wee simple things. I think that I think we're lacking now, because years ago, Jai, you know yourself and Alan, Celtic Park used to be ferocious years ago. The atmosphere used to be right on you. It used to be the roars and the boos and the whistles, and it used to be absolutely ferocious for these teams to come, and teams used to no like coming here. Now I think they like coming here, so I don't think it will phase them. But in terms of us, mate, I think, like you say, we need to be on it. If they turn up, JP, to what they can do to their maximum pomp, then I think we're going to need to be really, really good, because we need to have a proper off game. But again, on us, I think it's more on what we do, because I think we all know what they're going to do. They're going to come and try and counter-attack us, because that's the way they play. They are very good counter-attacking with, obviously, Griezmann and Morata. And they two are quality. I don't think we'll play against better strikers or wingers in all season. So if we can pass the test tonight, then it will give you a bit of wiggle room for the rest of the season, knowing that if you can cope with this, then you can cope with the rest of the season. So, and the last point, mate, before I'll get you back in, was obviously what Red said. On paper, I think it's, again, no group is easy, but it's the easiest group we've had probably since we've come back to the group stages in a long time. The game against Feyenoord, the way it worked out, was unfortunate because of obviously injuries, and
we've been doing it 9 men, and all.
9 men. So, but before the goal they scored, I thought we were a better team, and we looked like we were going to go and score. So again, disappointing. Lazio, sucker punch. But I can agree with. I think we can all agree with Ed that similar to maybe Scotland, JP. Scotland have got a very good team. They've got certain players, individuals that are very good, and collectively as a team, they do well. But in the international, they're missing like a Gareth Bale. They're missing like a Mbappe. They're missing 1 or 2 guys that take them up a notch. And I think that's what maybe Red's trying to get at. If we had, I'm not saying Jota, but a Jota type player, 1 or 2 of them to help the team, I think they might have won the 2 games. So I can get what Red's saying, but I think next season, if and when we do, in my opinion, I think we'll win the league. So I'm going to talk about as we win the league. I think you'll see a bit of spending next season, because if we don't, then I think there'll be massive questions asked to the board's ambition, because we all know the finances next year, JP, and you could potentially sell a player on, which I don't think is beyond impossible. I know these guys are on long-term contracts, but if Celtic get a good bid for somebody, mate, it's very hard for us to knock it back in terms of how big it is. So I can get what Red's saying, mate, but I think that was on mistakes on the park. I don't think it was down to lack of quality. I think it was down to simple errors and mistakes. And we're just saying against Lazio, Carter Vickers was a marquee signing, and he makes a mistake. So marquee signings at any level make mistakes. So, and that's just something the manager can't, or the board, or the manager and us fans, we kind of legislate for guys make mistakes.
The census in the comments here, Alan, is that I think there's a bit of discontent with the way the club run things and the way they do. There's obviously some accusations regarding Peter Lawwell and his dislike for, or supposed dislike for, Brendan Rodgers. For me, again, this is just me personally. I don't really pay too much attention to stuff like that. I think if Brendan Rodgers wasn't liked, he certainly wouldn't have been sought after, and nobody in their right mind would have went and got him. But what I want to say is I think a lot of Celtic fans seem to think Peter Lawwell's, pulling a lot of strings at Celtic and doing this and doing that. Peter Lawwell's got a totally different role at Celtic now from what he did have beforehand when he was there for a number of years. And as much as people might have their own opinions of him in terms of what he is as a person or what he does as a job, in my opinion, Celtic are being run elitely with a massive thank you to him in the way that he done business. So much so that teams like Arsenal and Liverpool tried to get Peter Lawwell many moons ago, and he refused to go there and stayed with the club. Now, I understand people, because usually when things go wrong or, Alan, when things aren't happening for the team, fingers start getting pointed and it's his fault, it's his fault, it's his fault, it's because he have not done that, it's because he have not done that, it's the usual. But I think a lot of Celtic fans need to understand as well, the club are working to a model. And I think I touched on this a couple of weeks ago. I get quite annoyed when I hear people speak about the model. Because the model is successful, and yeah, we've had to take some hits along the way in terms of what we're doing, but especially domestically, I don't think any one of us can say that Celtic haven't been successful. We lost the league in a time that people's shelf life at the club were up and things were happening behind the scenes, and just it was a total season. It turned to a shambles very quickly. The following season, we bounced back. Why? Because of the model of the club, Alan. Because of the way the club's been run. Because of the infrastructure of the club. If that wasn't in place, Celtic wouldn't have bounced back as quickly as they did. That's why we can attract managers like Brendan Rodgers. We can attract managers, bearing in mind it was going to be Eddie Howe. Eddie Howe at the last minute refused to be the Celtic manager. So he was all for it. He came and had these talks, and and now look at Ange Postecoglou. So the reason we can attract these type of managers, and we're being linked with these type of managers, look at Enzo Maresca as well. Another high-profile coach, well established under Pep Guardiola. Now he's making his bones at Leicester. He's doing very well. The reason we're attracted to these managers, and we're so attractive to these managers, is because of the way the club is being run, the model of the club. Let's not get it wrong. Let's not get it twisted. The way the club are being run, you've got to remember there's a certain club in this city. That's a blueprint there for how you don't run your club.
Aye.
So try and be mindful of, if it wasn't the way the club are being run, certain things could have happened to the club that certainly haven't.
The club's been run well. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And Peter Lawwell is a massive part of that. Over the years, how much money's been brought in, types of players, and how they've kind of ran the financial side of it. That's put us in a strong financial place. But I don't want to go old ground, but the first year of Ange Postecoglou, that's where all the signing model, that's where all our financial values come in. After that, we're struggling. When you look at the team on Saturday, there's only one player out the transfer window that's come in that played, started their first 11. So I'm not criticising the board. I'm not criticising Peter Law.
Does that not just show you how good the actual squad is then? Does that not say more about the squad than it does anything else?
I think we're showing a lack of ambition there, because if we were that strong last season, then why are we not pushing on? And that's a conversation we've had for a long time on here. There was definitely a lack of ambition. As we say, it's about spending 6-7 million on Carter Vickers, Jota, Julian, 9 million on Edward, and now we're backtracking to our top value. This season was £3.5-4 million we're spending. Now, inflation only tells you that players... Aye. So inflation only tells you that players' values are going to go up and up and up. And we're going down, we're going backwards. So I'm at the stage now that was a summer transfer window. I don't want to have a negative side on it. I don't think it was good enough. I thought it was massively underwhelming. I thought the board were lack ambition. But at the end of the day, that's been and gone. We need to get behind the team now. There's no point in dwelling on that. We're at the minute, and we need to, whatever we've got, we've got. The players we've got, we need to find a way of beating these teams. We need to find a way to be productive against these teams as much as we can. So there's no point about kind of crying over spilt milk. I don't agree with what's been happening the last couple of years with regards to transfers. But that's gone. Hopefully it'll improve in January in the summer. But we need to get behind the team. And the comments you're putting up there, I'm kind of positive about tonight. I don't see us getting a scalping. Like,
no, I know. It just goes to show that what I've said to you guys for a long time on here, just goes to show that everybody views football differently, you know, and that's the beauty of it, because if it were all the same, I mean, what a boring world it would be. So
I see this as a massive opportunity tonight. I don't see, like, they're obviously a top side, but for highlights that I've seen, I can see us causing them problems. Now, if we can take our chances with the problems that we cause them and keep relatively steady at the back, then I can see us causing a lot of problems tonight, honestly. I think they're there to be got at, and I think after the first two performances and then a good performance at the weekend, it looks as if we're starting to kind of gel, looking a bit more fluid in our football. Obviously, you're going up a massive level between Hearts and Atletico Madrid, but I'm quietly confident. I think we should all be confident in the chat because. No, just a couple of the comments that were put up there. I was like, well, no, let's get behind them. Let's be positive, because I think there will be chances. We'll have it obviously at Celtic Park. We'll get a few chances. We just need to put them away, and we need to be clinical. That's the main thing I think about tonight. We need to be absolutely clinical.
Ryan, obviously, like on here, like we do this for a lot of the fans, and you know, people get to, you know, we put up comments for people that have got different views, and again, like I've said to you millions of times, mate, that's the beauty of it. You know, and I get people and respect people's opinions, and that's totally fine. But I think, like Alan says about, you know, coming and, you know, let's get behind the team and stuff like that, and you know, I mean, 9 times out of 10, I mean, I don't remember any of us actually, you know, being negative towards the team directly and just saying, right, you know, I don't think we're going to win this, or I don't think we're going to get a result. I think there's always that element of doubt because of the you know, how poor the run has been in Europe for us. But I know people mention things like Jota and this and that's a miss, and guys like Jota was there last season, and we were getting lettered in the Champions League with Jota in the team. So I don't necessarily think he's the, you know, the main answer for all the issues that we're having. I mean, last year we still had Giakoumakis as part of that team, and you know, people say, oh, he was a tremendous goal. He only scored 1 goal in the Champions League. Kyogo's equalled that this season. So again, like people have got their own views, and that's absolutely fine. But I think sometimes people can become quite bogged down with certain issues, and like I said before, Ryan, I think when things aren't going well, if things, you know, especially in Europe, fingers start getting pointed, and the recruitment's bad, but we beat Hearts 4-1 at the weekend. I know Paul came on there and he said Hearts were poor. For me, that was because they were made to look poor with how we set up and how we played. Don't overlook that as well. You know, they were up against the best team in this country and Sunday. So as much as an opposition might be poor, that isn't Celtic's fault. Celtic turned up and done their job. You know, and that's all we can do domestically. And sometimes I feel, Ryan, that just might not be enough for people. You know, there's always that want for something else. You know, guys are doing well in the team, they know, and I'm hearing that, you know, they're not good enough to play in the team, they're not doing, well, they are, because they're doing it in the team, they know, at these levels. So I just think football's a game, mate. Sometimes it's, you're never going to please everybody, mate.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's always going to be a certain element of discontent somewhere along the lines.
Aye, there's plenty to go through, so I'll try and see what I can do in the next few minutes or so.
I'm about to make a team.
No, I'm not going to. I'll try and be too long, but I can see what Paul's saying in terms of us being ranked not in Europe, because the stats will tell you in Europe we are ranked not in. The stats don't lie. The stats tell you that. I can see why fans are negative into these games, but we've got to try and for 90 minutes of the game just focus on what's on the park, and that's all we can do. And again, I can get what Aaron's saying as well. We have kind of, in terms of the model, again, JP, I like the model in terms of the income side of it. We're buying we're buying young, talented players, and then we're selling some of our own. But like I say to you, I don't want us to keep going on buying players for Japan and South Korea all the time in Australia, because they're not going to work. We've seen it with Kwon. He's got to adapt to this level. Tilio has to, I know he's injured, but adapt to this level. The boy Holmes played a lot of games for Valencia. Now he's hardly getting a sniff. So I get that point. I would rather, I think we all agreed the other day, a few weeks ago when Barry was on as well, that we would rather spend maybe £50 million if we can in 3 top quality players instead of spending £50 million in 7 project players. Mm-hmm. And I know they're not all projects because some of them have played first team games, but I can get the point that the look of the fans is we're not building towards Europe. It's more just to get talent and sell them on. That's the way I can get why fans are thinking that, and I totally get it.
Well, the thing is we aren't selling them on. They're all signing new contracts.
But I'm talking about like that.
Which is, by the way,
which
has been totally amazing because I can't remember the last time we seen that.
No, that's true.
4 or 5 years ago, we would have lost 2 or 3 of them.
You're probably right. I can get what fans are saying though, but the model is that we're signing young guys, potentially hoping they're going to be very good, and then if they hit it off, right, we'll sign them or we'll give them a new deal and then they'll go away. But we've seen recently, I know we praise Andrew's signings, but some of his signings have not worked out at all. I know he's due to certain circumstances, but either Gucci, Applegard, some guys, not every signing is going to work out. But the more you sign higher level players, i.e. experienced players or guys who are maybe playing at a better level, there's more chance of them no failing. They sign them out the wilderness. But again, Kyogo, Maeda, guys like that, I know they've all worked. So we can criticise it in terms of the European side, yes. But the domestic wise, we've had unprecedented success the last how many years. I totally get that we want to be far. In my opinion, I think we're miles ahead of Rangers, but I think we're actually closer than we should be. I believe that we should be light years ahead at every team in Scotland. And I mean light years ahead. Look, Rangers should be neighbour near us. They shouldn't be 7 point behind us. It should be 12. It should be 15. They shouldn't be even anywhere near us because of the finances we've had in the past, the mans we've had in the past. But listen, football's not as easy as that. That's just on hindsight. We should be miles away. And the season, I keep saying the season that absolutely done us in was when they went down. When they get relegated, liquidated, that was when we stalled. I know it was the Dyer's fault, but you get Kazim Richards and Carlton Cole, Tonev, and you're thinking, these guys aren't up there. I don't, nobody could tell me Ronald Dyer knew who Carlton Cole was. They probably know who he was, but why would he want to sign a 34, 35-year-old striker up Celtic? Yeah. Kazim Richards done nothing in his career. He's done better than me. He's played in all these fantastic clubs, but he played Derby recently and all. I mean, it's that side I can get why fans are gone a bit crazy and a bit kind of frustrated. But we've got to get a result tonight. Sprint into the positive side. I'm agreeing with you, Aaron. I'm not naive enough to know that these players are quality, and if they turn up, it's probably going to be their result. If they turn up to their A game, no matter what we do, I think they'll win the game. But we need to turn up and hope that what we do is enough to put them off. It's enough to make them no perform. And I think we can do it, especially at Celtic Park. And I think the be all and end all, as JP like Alan says, is we need to be clinical. We need to take our chances. If it's a half chance or whatever, we need to take it, because I think if we get an early goal, then it helps you, because it gets the team up, gets the fans up, the manager, we all start getting a bit more positive. So, and in terms of, obviously, again, we keep going back and all down with Jack and Marcus and Jota and all these guys. I get what fans are saying. If we had a Jota or a Jack and Marcus type in reserve and still here, it would have been better than having Owen Yang in reserve, because in my opinion, they two yet aren't up to this level. But yet, like I said to you on the phone the other night, they've not had enough games to show that they're good enough yet. But I don't believe that O is going to get his 20 goals a season. I don't think he's up to it personally yet. But again, I'm saying that on no seeing enough of him. So I can only comment on what I've seen from him so far. If Kyle will get injured, do I believe we're going to be goal shy with him? Potentially, yes. I think he's snapping at things. We've seen it at Tynecastle. He's snapping at things. He's trying too hard. He's no confident. He's got attributes, i.e. holding the ball up and stuff, but is it good enough for Celtic going forward? We probably no, in my opinion, just yet, but we need to see him around our games. But how's he going to get that when you've got Kyogo? But for me, when you had Jack and Marcus, Jack and Marcus could challenge Kyogo. He was a goal scorer.
He wasn't, though. That's the thing. He wasn't getting it.
When Kyogo was injured, he scored us every game. Jack and Marcus was a goal scorer. There's different players. You can't
again, there's a massive age gap between but there's a massive age gap between the two of them, and there's a lot more in terms of footballing experience.
Oh, definitely. But I'm just talking about in terms of him as a player to Kyogo. There were different players, in my opinion. You couldn't compare them because they've done different jobs. They should have different style of plays. But Jack and Marcus he's always a goal scorer, by the way. It almost took him till like 2 years ago to start scoring goals. He peaked. He's peaked now. He's starting to score goals all the time now. So I get what fans are saying, JP. If we had they sort of players in reserve to help us, it would help us. I can get what they're saying. We've not really got much off the bench. But then Awata played well on Sunday. So, but all in all, mate, I'm not going to be negative about the board because I don't want to go back out all ground, JP. We've spoken about it all the time on this. So let's just try and rally the troops, get positive, and just hope to get a win. Because I like you said at the start of the show, mate, if we don't get a victory, you're probably going to say bye-bye to finishing second. If you get a point, potentially you can still finish third. But if you get a victory, by the way, it opens the full group right up.
Oh, no, I just think a victory would help this side, and I think a victory would not just help the side, but it would also help the manager. Because these guys are working really hard. And like I said at the beginning, Alan, I think the performance levels are there. Football's there. It's not as if we can't compete and we can't play football against these teams, because we can. We've showed it. For a massive spell last season, we had a lot of the play against Real Madrid, and McGregor's shot in off the post goes in. That's a different game. Albeit I know Madrid have got the quality and then step up. But again, mate, goals change games.
That's the point.
If Parma's goal against Lazio stands, in my opinion, mate, Lazio don't go up and score again.
I think that's the point that we're getting at, right? You've used the word if there a lot, and these teams don't go with if. These teams just go in dirt. That's the difference. These teams have got that bit of quality, like Pedro coming on for Lazio in the last 10-20 minutes. He come on and scores a winner. They've got that added bit of quality, and our team's good enough to play against them, compete to a certain degree, but they've got that bit of quality that's beating us. Let's say black and white every time. They've got that bit of quality that's beating us time and time and time and time again.
No, I get that.
So that's where ambition with the board, because we're hands down the best team in Scotland. But to step up to that level, if we've got any ambition to do anything in the Champions League or even the Europa League, I think there should have been a bit more input regards to established players. No spending an absolute fortune like these guys do, but I think there could have been a wee bit more ambition there instead of projects.
I'll go back to it again. Who comes that's established?
That's what we're scouting. That's what
what
the
kind
scouting department.
Yeah, but
for.
what kind of level of player? And the reason I'm asking you this is because if you're talking about high end, high experience. So I'll give you examples. Guys like Mario Icardi, guys that is experienced
No,
in the Champions League
no.
level. That's what you're talking about, because you're not talking about another young Edward guy coming into the team. Because Edward was a project when we signed him. So was
I'm talking
Jota.
about I'm talking about somebody that gets into the team. The problem is we've signed 10 players and one of them plays at the weekend against Hearts. One of them probably plays the night. And for that, especially we've lost, what was that, three first team players probably last year, and Moy, Starfelt and Jota. So we're losing 3 established first team players, and we've got one that's coming in to play now.
We
And
spent
that's
£4
where the
million
issue,
on a guy to replace for Starfelt.
right? And
We actually spent more because we brought in 2 defenders,
but
2 centre
the
backs.
fact that we can see
He's
that's the
injured,
ifs again,
and that's not
right?
something you can legislate for.
Right, but as we speak at the minute, there's one player in that team out of 10 signings. 10 signings. Now, if anybody can say that's good enough for a transfer window, I don't know, because transfer windows, we're supposed to improve window after window after window, and that's what takes us up a level in Europe. That's what gives us a chance to compete with these higher
I get that.
level sides.
Yep.
So it's there in black and white that we're
But
no improving.
that one player coming in is down to, there's been injuries, there's been things happened, and that's out with the managers. You know, it's out his hands. There's not, Brendan can't legislate for what's happened.
Well, even at that 2 out of 10 then, if Narowski comes in and Palmer, there's nobody else there that plays in that start lineup.
There is other boys came in that are fit to play, and the manager's choosing not to play them.
Right, but there's nobody there that starts in that lineup. I think we can all agree on that. There's nobody 2 out of 10, and that's where the issues lie. If we've got ambition to challenge and in a group in the Champions League or Europa League, we need to make improvements where there's first team starters coming in. No guys that are going to float about. So it's there black and white. It's no, if we're playing one player, when Lorowski comes back and can be 2 of the new signings out of 10 players, then it's not good enough for a window, to be fair.
See, first team starters, you're talking about experienced guys. You're talking, especially at that level, you're talking about experienced guys. Guys with a wee bit of a name. And I'm afraid, I'm really sorry to say this, but guys like that aren't going to come and play at the Tony Macaroni Stadium, at Pittodrie on a wet Tuesday night, up at Dingwall on a wet Wednesday night in the League Cup. These guys aren't coming to do that. I'm sorry, but it's just, that's not.
We're not asking for that, right? Yep. There's nobody in that team we've paid that kind of money for. But you're asking to go out and spend maybe an extra couple of million on a player, got to 6-7 million. For the players similar we've got the new, like Kyogo that we paid 5 million for, like Carter Vickers that we paid 6 million for, like Johnston that we paid 4 million for, like Abada that you're paying 4.5 million for. This is all the kind of level where I think Ryan touched on it before as well. We're going out and buying 7 players at maybe 1 million to 2 million and hope that these guys are going to turn into kind of great superstars, and the chances of that happening are far less than when you put a wee bit. You get what you pay for most of the time, so you put a wee bit more financially in, you're usually going to get a better player. Usually it doesn't always work out like that, but at the minute we can't attract half of the players that actually go to the English Championship, not made the Premiership. But there is players out there, because you see the ones that are in our first team at the minute that were spent maybe 5-6 million on. We can afford that, and that's what's frustrating, that we're not going for that.
See the guys you're talking about, the guys that we signed, like for even Johnson and guys like that. That was a project. You didn't know whether that was going to work out or not. You didn't know if they were going to be ready-made players and settle well. So again, what the Celtic fans and as what I hear constantly, we need quality. I'm afraid, see, to have that top level quality, guys like Pedro, who comes off the bench and scores like that, they're not coming to Scotland. I'll keep saying this. They're not going to come and play against St Johnson and Ross County.
You're right, but you need to ask the question.
All the other guys that you're bringing in, like Kyogo's, and that was a gamble. Kyogo's coming from the other side of the world, who'd never played in European football.
Every signing's a gamble, but if you're going to sign a guy, just say like Carter Vickers, Carter Vickers was never going to be a gamble because you knew it was all about he's played at a good level and he was going to come in and be good. I had no question about that.
He wasn't playing with Spurs at the time either.
But he's no a project signing. Guys,
for me, he was when he came in because he came in.
For me, I class a project signing. They sign a guy 19, 20, 18 between the 18 to maybe 21. They've still really played a lot of first team football for maybe £1 million. Right, we'll coach him, we'll develop him, and we'll get him signed. I agree with Alan. If you're going to, for me, that's a project signing. Signing young guys from maybe a foreign country or different countries, even signing guys for youth systems here. Right, we'll coach you, we'll develop you. We'll maybe get your team in a year. For me, that's a project. It's a long-term project. But what I think you agree with you as well, JP. We need to sign guys who are ready-made, i.e. for 25, 26, £4-5 million, whatever it is, boom, in the team. And we've seen, I know Matt O'Reilly was young when he came in, but his stats and everything were top of the tree. And you've seen it after a few weeks and a few months that he was going to be an impact player. But he was signed as a project player. He was signed to come in and play as a project.
Of course,
because he was a young guy.
These guys then need to come in and develop.
Totally.
We signed Edward on loan, seen what he was all about, and then paid £9 million from him.
But
we don't know what these guys are going to do.
We need to. We all know that 9 times out of 10, these experienced players are guys who are playing at a good level to come in and play against Livingston, etc. They're coming for the big European nights, or coming for the games staying across the water. But we need to go and ask the question. If you ask the question to some of these players, have a conversation. Listen, this is what we can do for you. This is what we can do. Come here, play football, and then potentially 2 years' time, if a better team comes to you, we'll sell you on. But come and make an impact here. There's guys doing the playing with Aston Villa. There's guys that are playing with Spurs. There's guys that are playing with even top-end Championship. They could probably come in here and make an impact, but at a high level. But you need to ask a question. There was rumours about Eric Dyer in the summer, right? I'm not saying Eric Dyer's a fantastic player, but if you try to tell me Eric Dyer's not playing for Spurs, you phone him up and say, look, by the way, come in January, we're still in Europe, you're going to win the league. Next year, we've got all this finance, we've got all the Champions League next year. You'll play week in, week out. Tell you what, he'll think about it. If nobody else is talking to him right now, he'll think about that because he's not playing at Spurs. And that's the sort of players that he's not playing, so I want guys to be playing football. I don't want guys to sit on the bench like Joe Hart, who was already a leader, and we knew he was going to come in and play well. But that's the sort of guys that we could attract. Vickers, no playing at Spurs, got him. Jota, done okay, Benfica, Sociedad, we got him. That's the sort of guy.
He was a project. No, he was a young boy, he was a project.
No, I totally get that, but we do need to, I don't want to spend on this because we've spoken about it all before, but
no, I know.
I do get that we need to, the scouting, whoever it is, recruitment, they need to go and get these wee gems who are not really playing first team football or they're not happy, who are worth maybe £5-6 million. Ask the question. We need to ask the question. It's all right, I know I'm the same. They're not going to come and play against Livingston. But if you say to them, look, we've got next season, right? We've got potentially 8 games against blockbuster games. You're not playing in the Premier League. I know you might be sitting on the bench or you might get your money, but you're not playing. Come to Celtic, you're playing 4 massive games in Scotland.
No, that's massive. See, that change in the format, that is massive.
So if you say to them, you're going to play 8 blockbuster games, you're going to be under a manager in Brendan Rodgers, you're going to play in front of 60,000 fans every week, potentially 10 games in Europe if you do well, 4 massive games against them across the water. Mm-hmm. Would you rather that, or would you rather sit on the bench at a Spurs or an Aston Villa or a Brighton, no kick a ball, but come to Celtic, I'll make you play again, you make an impact, make yourself a hero, and then we'll sell you on. I think that's what we. I'm not saying go to spend £10 million on guys who are playing in Serie A, whatever. But see, there's guys who are playing down south, who are on the bench at Brighton, on the bench at Villa, even Everton, who are good players. Ask the question. If you don't ask the question, you'll get the answer.
We're no scouts, right? But there must be better than what we've brought in at the summer there, because it's there that these guys aren't coming into the first team. We're buying 10 players that are contributing. Right, there might be 1 or 2 of them injury.
They're not yet coming into but surely the projective is.
JP, we're nearly in November, mate. No, I mean, if we that's what me and Ryan's saying. We need players.
That doesn't mean anything to me, mate.
We need players that are in the team. If we had players that were going into that team, maybe we would have scored that extra goal against Lazio. That wee bit extra quality. maybe we would have scored before the sending ass against Feyenoord. But at the minute, anybody that's been brought in, they're no contributing. So
listen,
it's no.
I get it. I understand. Monty's putting a lot of examples up in the chat about players that have came and were ready made, and he brings a couple of examples, guys like Big Venegura Hesseling and guys of that ilk at the time. I'm afraid to say this, football has totally changed. When you look back at Sutton, Lennon, Thompson, all coming up for England, you're not seeing that now. You're not getting that quality of player anymore coming up here because the money in the game is astronomical elsewhere, out with Scotland. And the prod, you've got to remember a way back then as well. Celtic and Rangers at the time they had a lot of big hitters in their team. A lot of big hitters. Guys that played at World Cups, guys that had won Champions Leagues. Celtic had a strong side a way back then, and so did Rangers. That project isn't here now. That product is not here anymore. The league was probably more competitive then than what it is now. Even teams then had like Frank Sosie playing with Hibs, albeit it was coming to the end of his career. But it was names that were all in the Scottish League way back then. Guys that had won things in the game. That's not there anymore. So guys that we want as in quality to come and play at Celtic Park, aren't they, as Ryan says, they're not coming to play against Livy.
Tell Giakoumakis, by the way, top goal scorer in the Eredivisie. And 27, 28-year-old when we signed him for 3 million or something.
It was an experience. I know what you're saying, but again, I thought that was a project because we done it. Let's be honest, nobody had any clue who he was. And the fact that he was a top scorer, I mean, I don't watch Dutch football, but the fact that his team get relegated and he was a top scorer, when I saw that, I went, oh, hold on a minute here. Like, what's going on? And I think he scored something like 32 goals in that season for a team that was poor and got relegated. So, but none of us knew him. A lot of Celtic fans want guys that, like Ryan says, Eric Dyer.
No, that's not going to happen.
I mean, I know that there was rumours about it and there was this and that.
See, when you're talking about the experience players,
I know it's not going to happen.
There was rumours about Daniel Podence. He's away to Olympiacos. You try to tell me Celtic is not a better attractive than Olympiacos. I know he's played there before. I get that, right? So
Monty's asking me, hold on, Ryan. Monty's asking me, was Virgil van Dijk a project? Aye, he was, because we only spent £2 million.
I would say he was signed. Obviously, Neil Lennon. He
was signed under that model to come in and be developed.
We don't know about Van Dijk, but he was signed in terms of this guy's got potential. We'll pay a low price from him. We'll take a punt on him. And Neil Lennon says after 1 or 2 training sessions, this guy's going to be any longer. This guy's a belter.
I think the difference we're getting at is that you can either spend $2 million like Van Dijk or Giakoumakis in the Dutch league, the Eredivisie, or you can go to the Korean League 2 and buy Kwon. Now, there's different sorts of projects. Now, the Dutch league, you say that's a project that most probably will work, but signing somebody for the second division in Korea, that's a massive gamble. That's the point. I think we should be bringing in players that only a calculated risk.
Here's one thing, right? And I never thought I'd ever say it, right? I don't want us to buy Scottish players for your leagues. I don't think they're good enough, right? But I would rather spend £1 million on Martin Boyle than go to Korea and buy a boy for the second division. I would, because you know what you're getting him for Scotland. he's going to come in. He'll get you a goal or two, and he's quick, and he'll in Scotland he'll make an impact. But I don't want to sign Scottish players. I'd rather go and sign the boy Max Johnson, who I was a Motherwell.
Listen, I totally get what you're saying in terms of, like, I know what you mean in terms of, but what we're talking about in terms of guys that we would bring in, as in quality, guys like ready-made quality, maybe not so many big names, but Celtic fans want big names. And I've heard that many shouts through the last couple of seasons and Windies, and, that's what certainly guys that sit behind me at Celtic Park are shouting about guys like Chiro Immobile and like guys like that's a player that players of that ilk we should be going and signing.
It's never going to happen.
Because of and the reason I'm saying it, guys, is because of what we've got in the league.
Marty,
guys won't come to Celtic.
I'm just going to answer.
But I think we should aim it slightly higher. That's my point. I think just
if you're looking now, Monty,
just to say we're no, Alan.
I've just on this debate. Monty says if Lewis Ferguson now, looking back now, Monty, Lewis Ferguson would have been a good player for us looking back now, but I wouldn't have paid the £4 million or so at the time that Aberdeen were asking. I didn't think he would have played in front of McGregor, Hatat and O'Reilly. He might not still play in front of them, but if he was maybe, like I says, I don't rate Ryan Porteous, right? But if Ryan Porteous was a free transfer and could come in and make an impact in Scotland, I think it's a no-brainer because it's a free transfer, it's a no gamble. But for Europe, I get what we're trying to say. And obviously, Mark O'Hara, again...
You're better with Jamie O'Hara.
Personally, I wouldn't want to sign players for Scottish football, Monty, but I know what you're saying. You can probably get maybe better talents in Scotland than maybe over in the lower league career. But again, I like what Celtic are doing in terms of networking, JP. I like that we're networking. We're trying to branch out. We're trying to get quality elsewhere. Every signing we make is a gamble, but the signings that aren't a gamble is the guys...
We were linked with Daniel Pedence just in that window.
That's what I'm saying. So, but this is what I'm saying. Did we fully go in and ask the question fully? Because I don't think we did. Because I think if we did, we'd be sitting here with Daniel Podence.
No,
personally,
we signed
Palmer. But
Palmer.
But we've... I don't want again. I want to kind of go off this conversation because we've spoken about it for a long. We can talk about it again in the future. But I'm on the night, JP, and the last bit for me being right is I'm looking forward to the game. I'm actually looking forward.
Yeah.
Even though you think I'm stupid here or I might be a bit silly, but I'm actually looking forward to seeing these type of players play at Celtic Park. I'm looking forward to Griezmann. I'm hoping it doesn't turn up, but for a neutral. I'm hoping.
Hey, I'm afraid that. I thought you were going to start rhyming off the Celtic line up there. No, hey, I'm afraid that's all we've got time for.
I'm a football fan as well, mate, so I'm looking forward to seeing these guys play. But I think we can nullify them in certain aspects of the game. I'm hoping they have an half night, and I'm hoping we turn up. But I'll just give my team now. I know we're going to go on that, but that's the team that I was going to obviously pick. That was the team there. I think we'll be unchanged for the weekend. I don't think...
To be fair, for anybody wondering, Ryan's actually copied me because I gave him my team last night. That's the same team. So
I know there was talk about a few fans on social media talking about Iwata. He did play well, and I'm not going to go back on. I'm quite out unless somebody changes my mind totally. I still don't think he's a good enough yet to fully come in and play yet. It's okay doing cameo roles, but again, he needs game time to prove that to everyone is. But if he was to play, I want to be doing against it, but I think you need to keep that team, JP. You need to keep a bit of continuity because after that performance, again, if you then change it, you're changing the rhythm of the team. So I think I'd rather keep the same team, see how it plans out, and after 60 minutes, if Hatata's getting the ball away, if O'Reilly's tired and whatever, then put on Iwata and just see how we go.
Yeah, totally, mate. Obviously, I'm the exact same as the lineup you've selected there. I was only kidding, by the way. I never told Ryan my team last night. I was only joking, but that is a team.
I tell both of you.
You must have been dreaming. You must have been dreaming then. You must have been dreaming.
I did.
No. Listen, I love, you know what I like doing. You used to, I love playing devil's advocate with you sometimes. But the Angem question there, I think, you know, what Angem's saying there in terms of the, you know, like having Lager Bielka back. I didn't even know he was injured this morning. And then I was reading he had a back injury or something. He had a spasm in his back. And then he had to go for it was like a stretching technique before he played for Sweden. And then when he scored that goal for Sweden, his back went into a spasm again. And then he had to go for another sort of physio session. And Rodgers saying, I know that he's back for injury. I didn't even realise that. No. He was suspension, but he also had an injury. That's what forced him off the pitch against Motherwell.
Somebody I know.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't know that either. His lower back went into a muscle spasm, and he had to go for it was like a specialised stretch or whatever he had to do. And then he played for Sweden, and it happened again after he scored.
Don't know that.
And then I was reading that this morning, but Yeah, and just to obviously say what you've said there, having any player back is going to be a big boost for a squad. The squad's probably sitting, I would say, at its strongest point since Rodgers' return. So it's going to be interesting now to see a full bill of health and what he does with this squad. Because obviously you've got Big Rocky's sitting there, I know, ready to get the gloves on. He's running about looking for Apollo Creed, I heard. Doesn't need to look any further. We've got Big Clubber Lang sitting on this podcast. There he's there. Aye, I'll let you come in, big man, in terms of your team tonight. But I'm the same as Ryan. That's the team I would have picked. I was just playing devil's advocate when I had says a bit of water. But by the way, what I want to say now, I've looked at that back about 3 or 4 times. I still can't believe the way he scored that goal at the weekend. Sees we roll, the way he drags the ball and then he just clips it. You're like, to get the height on the way the ball went was frightening. But I fair play to Water because, like Ryan says as well, when we were chatting on the phone the other day, boys, he was in at the cold, and to come in at the cold and do that, it's unexpected for us as fans, but it was nice to see. And aye, as I said, I was only playing devil's advocate in terms of saying Hatate gives the ball away and stuff, and could have Water play, but surely it's got to. I would imagine he's going to be part of the squad of Water, because Brendan did say the other day he's got a big future now with us. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
I think he's got a part to play. I definitely think he'll contribute. Obviously, there's a great deal of games upcoming. I think we're playing kind of 2 a week for most of the upcoming future just now. So he'll definitely play his part. I personally think the same. I think it'll be the exact same starting 11 as the weekend there. The only thing he's going to crack up now, the only thing I can see is how good they two are up front. I don't know if he might throw a wee curveball in with Phillips. And I know that Scales doesn't deserve that. He deserves to be in that team, definitely. He's no put a foot wrong. But when you're playing 2 kind of world-class experienced strikers up there, but I'm still 70% I think Scales will play, but I think Phillips has kind of been brought in for a reason. I don't know if that reason is Champions League football, but we've not seen a great deal of him, so I'd still go with the same starting lineup for the weekend, in my opinion.
Sorry, mate, I switched off after you said Scales was getting dropped there. Sorry.
Do you know what I mean? I don't think he will, but I think it's the experience factor. Obviously, you're playing against Griezmann and Morata. These guys are too top quality, but I'd still go with Scales. But would Phillips give you that experience factor? I don't know, but I just think it'll be the exact same team as Sunday. I'd be surprised if there was any changes, but I think that's the way. If Phillips come in, I don't think he'd drop Carter Vickers for Phillips, but I think that's the only possible inclusion in the team I'd see.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to be there tonight, and if I don't see Liam Scales in that warm-up, but it's starting lineup,
I think you will.
There'll be a few.
If I see Greg Taylor, I'm walking back here, I'm not going. I'm not going.
He's
I'm only kidding, Greg.
He's but that's wee fine man here.
Aye. But it's actually a good point that Monty makes. I know I put it up there, but again, Monty, we don't know the guys that they've actually asked to come. They might have been out of their bracket, or they might have known what to come. We all know that Celtic need better than Greg Taylor and Bernabei for us to go in Europe. We all know that. I know people might think I've got something against them. I just want us to be better in every position, even in goalkeeper. We need a better goalkeeper in the future, because we know Joe Hart's come to his end and he's been good this season. Don't get me wrong, he has been, but we all know there's certain positions that we need to improve on. The left back is one of them. Even a set reserve left back, it seems to be Bernabei's a bit AWOL when it looks at off the park. Again, we don't know if that's because he's young or he's still to get kind of adapted. We don't know, but I totally agree with.
Because he subscribed to your show.
He's been watching my son driving at the same time.
After he done that, man, all hell's broke loose.
But on that last bit, Monty, I do think we all know, mate, that in my opinion, the left back is the weakest spot of the team. In my opinion, I've said it for years. Since KT left, it's probably the weakest spot. Even with Bolly and who's our left back? Who's our left back? Bolly and who? Who's our left back? Who was the second left back? Taylor, wasn't it? It was Taylor and Bolingoli, wasn't it? After Tierney,
Taylor, Bolingoli.
That's right,
Laxalt,
Again, Laxalt came with a good pedigree. He was in the, I think it was the World Cup team of the year. AC Milan paid a good bit of money for him. And I'm not going to judge anybody that season, Monty, because that season was a write-off for just about every player. So I find it hard to judge. I thought Laxalt looked good when he first came in. And then, again, like a lot of the team, he won
everybody in the team that season.
But I can get what you're saying, Monty. I think the consensus is not just yourself, mate. I think we all know that there's certain positions you need better to progress. But as it is, we just need to go where we've got. And hopefully tonight, JP and Alan, I think as a club, we need this result tonight. We need some sort of result because I'm sick of the media the next day. Celtic again, no good in Europe. The Rodgers not getting backed and this and that. We want a bit of positivity. And the game at the weekend, mate, it's only going to bode well for us into this game.
No, that's it, mate. I'm looking for us to send them away with a chins full of paella. I'm hoping that happens tonight. And I'll be getting a wee can of Madrid at the end of the night. I'll tell you if we can
just a one can of Madrid. Just a one
can, aye.
One can done.
One can done.
We'll be seeing him and Maggie Mays looking like a big bull, wouldn't he? Hey, Madrid!
Aye, that's no Andre. That's Madrid.
Aye, Madrid.
Aye, arriba.
Aye.
No, as I say, Maggie Mays, watch out that is, man.
Cafe Andalus for lunch tomorrow.
Cafe Andalus for lunch tomorrow, aye. A wee bit of tapas.
Tapas, aye.
I'll be tapasing all right along Springfield Road if he won this night, I'll tell you.
He's going to be in the back of a bill with a sombrero on, isn't he?
A big Bellium Scales mask.
Griezmann who?
Aye. I'll be like Jason Cundy. Can you find Griezmann?
Harry Kane.
Aye, Harry Kane, aye. Has anybody seen Morata? Aye, just about up the road with Liam Scales hanging out his back tail.
He's been number 2 in the tune away him.
Aye, wee boy Laurenti's inside Greg Taylor's boots. I know I'm talking Greg Taylor up now, mate. You see this, man. Centre half the first 10 minutes, 2 penalties get away. Oh no.
I was saying, no again. I'm again.
Aye. Have a lot. You're tonight. Long face. Your face is long.
Right. Two nuns in a bath, Greg.
But no, lads, I'm really looking forward to tonight. I really am. But it's a Champions League night at Celtic Park. What is there not to look forward to? I really do think we've got the capability there to go and do some damage to this team. And I've watched this team over the last couple of nights now, as we've managed to get a chance to do so. And I agree with Alan. I think this team are very, very slow at the back. And if they start the way they did against Feyenoord, I think Maeda and Kyogo can cause them real problems. Palmer, obviously, as well. Palmer, like I said to you before, lads, I said it to Alan yesterday, I think Palmer's got this Riyad Mahrez thing about him. That he's very clever and he passes the ball like a midfielder. His vision's unbelievable. He won't beat people with direct pace like Maeda, but what he'll beat people with is his cleverness and his technical ability to manoeuvre the ball in and out of a situation. I think he's very good at taking the ball under pressure as well, and I'm looking forward to seeing him again live in the flesh. It was okay watching him at Tynecastle on the TV. I like watching Palmer live, especially when he came on against Lazio. I thought he's one of those players, I think, lads, that defenders are instantly worried about him because of the makeup of him as a player, the way, his stance, the way he receives the ball. And again, he's one of those players like Hatate. He seems to know where the ball's going next. He's got that kind of, he does a bit of scanning, and there's that word again, Ryan. Scanning. He does that scanning. You're used to doing that in a Friday night, mate, with that wee new printer machine you've got there.
Plenty of scanning at 10:30.
Plenty of scanning, aye. Plenty of scanning at 10:30.
I'm not telling you what I'm scanning though.
Scan your
Scan
your QR code here.
I'm scanning somewhere else, but that's a conversation.
Scan this barcode for an amazing discount.
Use Ryan code 10 for 10% off.
Use Ryan code 10 for 10% off. Use Ryan code 10 and you'll still owe him 20 quid.
Aye. No freebies in my house.
No, that's it. Or whatever house you're in, because you're still...
I'm still in this house, aye. I've the same Celtic taps on the last 3
years. Same Celtic tap one, aye. I've cut the water off, they're not allowed me to go for a shower now.
Aye.
Scan your soaps coming in the door. But no, as I said, lads, I'm really looking forward to the night, and hopefully we can manage to get this well-deserved victory that we've kind of been threatening it for a wee while now. So here's hoping we can go one better tonight, and the energy levels are there, and we've got the. But again, guys, obviously we're at the end of our wee chat today, or should I say, well, bare knuckle boxing match nearly turned into there. But you still need up your game, man. I'm a big Tyson Fury compared to you still, man. Know what I mean?
I think he must be a scout for Celtic, man. He's backing up on his signings.
You still just a couple of dossers, man. Know what I mean? You need up your game.
I'm sick of beating bums in it to move up a level.
Well, that's it. Definitely. Before we go, guys, just to let everyone know, and you probably already do, the podcast is sponsored by AB Entertainment. The AB stands for a Mr. Alec Beveridge. That's Alec's contact details there that's on your screen. The best way to do it is probably through WhatsApp. He is on Facebook and Instagram also. It's a DJ and entertainment business for any type of function that you think of, and you may want to contact him if you've got any immediate parties that are arising within your family or your workplace or anything at all that you can think of. Again, guys, thank you very much for your time today. Thank you, everyone that's tuned in to the pod today as well. Thanks for everybody that's commented in. I do apologise for everyone that I can't get everybody's comments up, but they too like to talk, so I'm really sorry about that. Don't worry, I will be having a word with them once we do come off here to set a few records straight. I think one of them's Perry Como, because Big Alan was showing his photos out before we came on. I think Ryan's got Tom Jones. I've got a couple of other records I want to bring to the party, so
Rosemary.
Interesting. Rosemary.
What did you do to me?
See you later.
One of the ones, exactly. Just before we go, also to make you all aware that we've still got this fantastic merchandise up for grabs. It is very limited now because people are coming 10 a penny to get them. We've got these mugs for sale. They're priced at £5. And we've also got these key rings for you as well. If anybody wants to get their hands on them, just chuck us a wee message. The key rings are £150 also. You can message us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter or TikTok. And as I say, it's very easy to do. So you can also message us in the community section of our YouTube channel as well. All you need to do is click the wee icon and it'll take you into the page where you'll see community, and you can comment on the last thing that was posted. For any updates and all that as well, you can get them in there in the comment section of the community section, of the YouTube. Obviously, updates will be on social media as well. For the lads, they'll be back on Friday at the time of 8:30, Friday evening. I'll not be there, thank God. I don't need to listen to them anymore. Barry Bannon will be joining us. That's a massive reason why I'm not coming on. But
you can't take that 3-on-1, can you know?
No, I can't. No, I can.
Last time.
No, I did.
Bob, no play.
I'll tell you what. See Wayne Scales.
See the last time. No, see when Scales gets. I might actually come on when Big Scales gets man of the match tonight. By the way, I might actually jump on.
Play.
Especially when Greg Taylor crosses one in and Mickey Obo, he does it in. I might actually come on Friday. But again, that's wishful thinking on my behalf. But again, guys, been a pleasure. And
Take
catch
care.
you later.
Hail, hail.
Hail, hail.